Well, hello everyone, here I am again in my channel with another lesson that is intended to teach you some more grammar. This time the name of the lesson is Conditional Clauses, and that means that the things that we are going to learn about are the types of clauses, which are the zero conditional, first conditional, second and third conditional, and then we'll also pay some attention to different clauses, which are the time clauses. After that, I'll provide you with one link and the picture. So here we are. First of all, we need to know that conditional clauses are composed by a subordinate clause that expresses a condition and the main clause that expresses a result. And there are two words that are very important, and they show us that we're dealing with one conditional clause. These are if, or, unless. We need to remember that unless has got a negative meaning. And as I told you before, there are four types of relative clauses: zero, first, second, and third. Let's now take a look at them more closely. Well, zero conditional is the easiest one. And we need to remember that it is used for scientific facts and statements which are always true. So, how do we form it? It is quite easy, because in the subordinate we use the present, and in the main clause we use the present as well. So, one example would be, if you heat ice, it melts. The two verbs which are in the present show us that we're talking about a scientific fact, a fact that's always true. Now, what about the first conditional? The first conditional is used to talk about possible situations, and something will happen, something will take place if a condition takes place. So, in this case, we use two different tenses. First, with if, we use the present simple, and then in the main clause we use the future with will. That's the future simple in English. And here you've got two examples. These are, if I go to bed late, I will be tired. And if we wait here, we'll be late. And you need to be very careful, because in some cases we can use these tenses in combination with modal verbs. So, modal verbs can be in the main clause, in the subordinate clause, or they can appear in the two, as you can observe in this example. If you can go out tonight, you should eat in the new restaurant. Now, what about the second conditional? Second conditional is used to talk about imaginary and hypothetical situations. They're not likely to take place, so these situations are not really possible, and as you can see here, these are the tenses that we can use. In the subordinate clause, we use the past simple, and now, in the main clause, we've got three possibilities. The most common possibility is good, but we can also use could or might to show one possibility which is less common. So, would is the main one, it is the principal, and the other two verbs that are also used in the second conditional are could or might. Look at the example. If I had enough money, I could buy a new house. Or if I met Taylor Lautner, I could ask for his autograph. And, be very careful, because we can use this conditional, the second conditional, if we want to give advice or a tip. And it is not if I was you, because that is accepted, but especially in spoken English, in the spoken language. But in formal contexts, it is better for you to say, if I were you. In the example, you can see this sentence, which is, if I were you, I could get a new job. Last but not least, we arrived to our last conditional. It is the third conditional, and in this case, it is used to talk about events in the past. Thus, it is impossible because the conditions can't be carried out. We also know this conditional as the impossible conditional. And in this case, the tenses are a little bit more complicated, so I normally recommend people to take a look at the examples and learn the examples to picture this conditional more clearly in their minds. Look, if you hadn't been late, we wouldn't have missed the bus. Look, we've got if plus the past perfect and good plus have and the infinitive. If he had become a musician, he could have recorded a CD. And what about temp clauses? Well, temp clauses are quite easy, they're not complicated, and they're very, very similar to conditional clauses. In fact, they are clauses that are in the first conditional, so they've got the same characteristics as those in the first conditional. That is, the tenses are the present and will. The only difference is that we don't use the word if or unless. Instead, we use other times expressions, for instance, as soon as, by the time, the moment that, when, or as long as. Look, some examples are when I arrive, I will call you, or as soon as I save some money, I will buy a plane ticket. You can see that the features are the same as in the first conditional, but instead of using if or unless, we use one of these time expressions. Well, today I've been very good and I've just included one link, but if you get to open it, you'll find that there are plenty of activities. In fact, this is a very, very useful link and you'll be able to practice according to your needs, according to what you find more difficult or what you want to master. But obviously, check it out. And that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I hope you had the chance to learn new things. And today's picture is in Europe. It is in Santorini, in Greece. And this picture was taken in my trip in 2010. Thank you very much for watching again. See you in class. Bye!